Welcome to the Go Gettas podcast, the podcast where we have a good society. I am Colby.
And I'm here to suck titties and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of titties. You can call me Fee.
I swear to God, Vic, you better not be chewing fucking bubblegum on our podcast. Ooh! This is not an asthma podcast, sir.
Asthma. I don't have bubblegum. I do have a bowl with mashed potatoes and roast in it, though. So...
Yeah, it's going to sit there for the whole podcast, just getting nice and cold. And then at the very end, you're going to eat it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, no, it's going to sit here and definitely not be eaten, wink.
Fuck, I swear. If I hear any lip smacking or like, while we're recording, I'm going to pee on you through the internet.
You just lip smack, so better pee on yourself.
Yeah. If you think that I'm not constantly pissing myself, then you've got another thing coming, bud.
I have a feeling that you are. I mean, jokes aside, I know how much you like the warm sensation on your lap.
Yeah, of course. Me and Ted Cruz, both big fans.
Did Ted Cruz piss his pants?
I'm positive he has.
He was real pissed off about them. He heard, God, was this Ted Cruz? That he heard that they were going to try to limit beers to like 2 a week. And he got really pissed off and got like a gaggle of guys. And he was like, they want our beers. You got to come and get them, goddammit. And he's fucking drinking a Modelo.
I don't know. He makes such a fucking dog and pony show out of everything for no reason.
Yeah. He was like, if they want to take our beer, they're going to have to come and pry it out of our goddamn hands.
Well, and he's the one who, like, in the middle of, like, a bunch of people dying because of the grid, just, like, fucked off and went to Cancun.
It was like, hey, Ted, there's a lot of people dying. Oh, I already booked the fucking flight.
I gotta go, buddy.
Yeah, no, he is a big shitter, and we don't stand Ted Cruz in this house.
No, absolutely not. Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz is one of the reasons I moved away from Texas.
Well, I mean, you act like you could have seen him possibly at any time of the day.
Here's the thing. I mean, I could have.
Would you? And then what? What would he have been like? He would have been like, ew.
He would have had that. He would have had that fucking shit-eating grid, that smug, like, no, I'm a senator.
And that's when you fucking go and trip him and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh God, that's what. Yeah, well, I mean, and that's how you get like arrested. So
well, like you just pretend to like bump into him while holding a knife and be like, I'm so sorry, I was just looking at the craftsmanship.
Oh God, it keeps happening.
You have a magnet on you somewhere? Wow.
Please, sir.
I'm just kidding. I would never inflict bodily harm on a member of parliament or the government.
On Tedrick Cruz?
On Tiandro Creandro.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never, not once, thought about doing any bodily harm to anyone. I'm saying it right now. Not here in real life, not in Minecraft.
Nope, nowhere. Never. There are times when I hear people being like, oh yeah, I wish I could punch that guy in the head. And I hear that and I say, I can't even imagine what it would be like.
I've never closed my fist. Not once. I've never even closed my hand. That's every time I'm thirsty and I want a cup of something, I place it right in between my chest, and I squeeze and I'm holding around, like a bar wench.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
And yeah, that's how I consume beverages.
It sounds really messy, but like, how else are you gonna do it, really?
I was gonna say, just like penguin it. You can't close your hands. You gotta you place your hands on both sides, right?
You gotta put your little flippers on it.
Yeah, you gotta flipper it. You gotta just. I don't know how else. Would you? I mean, you're missing out on a lot if you can't close your hands. That
True.
Are you get some kind of cup holder glove, right? Mm-hmm. that you put over your open hand that has a cup holder already in it. Mm-hmm. God, okay, man. Listen, at first this was a joke, but now this is.
Now you know what? This is a challenge. We're gonna call this No Hands November.
Why not? There's already so many no whatever Novembers. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Listen, this is a month for challenging yourself, and then December is the month for rewarding yourself.
I've already lost both of the challenges from November.
Oh, Fee. Oh, Fee. Embarrassing.
I'm sorry. I shaved like literally the second day of November because like it was already bothering me my fucking stubble, and I've been meaning to, and I shaved, and then I met up with somebody and we banged. So that throw November out the window.
Then, please, God, Lord in heaven, Fee, please tell me this wasn't the nerd. Please tell me it wasn't the nerd.
Oh no.
Thank God.
This was a really cool guy. He actually, well, he is a nerd, but he doesn't say he is.
Yeah.
So we just know that we are both, because when I went to his house, well, I was kind of not embarrassed, but I was like, "Ew, you're watching this?" Because like he called me over like at night, and he was watching the Eternals, and I'm like, "Ew."
Oh no.
I was like, "This is bad," but he has a bunch of Funko Pops, and he's pretty cool.
That's like the beginning of Marvel's downfall.
Oh, I know, fucking. I don't think it was Eternals. I think it was Black Widow coming out after Endgame.
Yeah, well, Black Widow was supposed to be pretty quickly after Endgame, and then COVID
It was
happened.
supposed to be before.
Oh, it was supposed to be before. You're right. Yeah, and then COVID happened, and so it got delayed a lot. So yeah, I guess
So,
you're
like-
right. Maybe that was the first one, because like now, like the sixth most upvoted thing on Reddit this morning was some meme being like, I just don't care about Marvel anymore. Not even a little bit. Like the fact that the Marvels came out, and the fact that I don't have any feelings about it just makes me sad. And I was like, yeah, it is sort of the end of an era, and that's fine.
It was the end of an era after Endgame.
Yeah.
Now it's they're parading a corpse around the streets.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real with you. I do like Loki. I still haven't seen Loki season 2.
Oh man, I can't now that I know that Loki has something to do with the guy who was what's his name, and they had to write him out of the entire series because of what he did, because they refused to rewrite him or recast him. Now Loki is just a bunch of nonsense, no matter what they do.
Good. Good.
So like that's just me being the cynic, being cynical.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're Loki couldn't even Loki season 2. I like season 1, but Loki season 2 couldn't get my butt back in the seat to watch it.
Did you try?
I couldn't. I didn't want to. I'm just like, I honestly, after everything that's happened with She-Hulk, She-Hulk, the Marvels, Miss Marvel, everything that has come out leading up to Loki 2, just, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think Star Wars has a sort of similar problem in that, like, The Mandalorian came out, and that was like, ooh, this is like the first Star Wars, like, live action show. This is going to be kind of wild. And then it was like, okay, yeah, I'll watch this. And it was really good. We're like, okay, yeah, Mandalorian season 2, I'm in. Let's watch it. And then they were like, yeah, well, and then there's the Book of Boba Fett, and also there's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And also, like, if Obi-Wan Kenobi had come out like right after Mandalorian, I think it would have been a huge hit. Andor apparently is super good. I still haven't seen it because, again, I got to the end of Mandalorian season 2, and they were like, great, you get a 2-week break, and then we got another Star Wars show. And I was like, I fucking can't. I cannot invest emotionally in that many shows. And you are overloading me right now. Please stop.
Yeah, not to mention, you had to watch Book of Boba Fett in between The Mandalorian, because part of Book of Boba Fett is just Mandalorian 2.5.
Yeah, that's what I hear is like 3 episodes of Book of Boba Fett are really Mandalorian episodes.
Yeah, and the book, man, I that's what I'm saying. I don't think they really thought about it, because the Book of Boba Fett shits all over Boba Fett, and they make it a joke. it's so laughable. Like it's laughable how bad it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it because I'm just like,
That's why
I'm not someone who's hard to please. It's very easy to please me. There's just a couple things you got to avoid. If it's a pretty good story, if it's got nice music, it's shot well, then I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Fuck it. Like, I don't even if something is like cringe or stupid. Like, you remember in Endgame when they were like, wow, we got to get all the women together in one shot. I saw that and was like, oh, that's a little gross. But that's fine.
I gave an audible groan.
That's the difference between you and I. Is I see something like that and I'm like, yeah, I see what you were going for, and you missed the mark. I just it's whatever.
No,
and you're like, oh God, please, please stop.
Listen, you are saying like I was like, oh God, and like I fucking dragged my arms across the floor.
Yeah, you left the movie immediately. You threw up and you said, Endgame's the worst movie.
No, it was kind of like, like the Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark meme with his eyes rolling, just like, ugh. When I finished, I was like, come on, man. I'm like, how could that have happened? Like hundreds of thousands of things in the battlefield, and all the women from the whole superheroes just grouped up all together.
Yeah, they all showed up.
It's so stupid. I was like, I see what they're doing, but man, was it.
And if you look at the stripes on their costumes all put together, it does say girl power. Crazy. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, listen. And it's so funny to hear you say it that you were just like, ugh. because like usually you're like, yeah, that's cool.
The thing is, like, whenever it's like really obvious what they're going for, and it's like that scene didn't need to happen. There wasn't anything about that, like it didn't add to anything. It was just like, we've got these characters, where else are we going to put Pepper Potts, I guess? Just fucking throw her over there. It was just really obvious, and I was like, I'm not a big fan of that. But like,
nobody was.
The thing is, like, for things like Cowboy Bebop, Faye being really cringe, it's like, okay, well, that's her character as being like in this particular show, Faye is just cringe. That's who Faye is, and that's fine. So I'm fine with her being like, yeah, numbnuts. I'm a bounty hunter. I shoot guns. Pew pew. Like, that's fine. I'm fine with that because that's who they established her to be in that show. But in Endgame, they were like, yeah, there's all these heroes that you love from all the other franchises. Here, they all came together. Look what we just did. Pat ourselves on the back right here. And I was like, that's a little too much for me.
Give yourself a little pat on the ass. The thing about that is, I hate Faye. We've talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
She's Girl Spike in that version of the show.
Yeah.
When she's not in the regular source.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but they did her in a bad cringe way. Not a good cringe way.
There's no good cringe. The thing is.
Yeah, okay. There is good cringe because
name one. Go.
Chris Chan.
That's not good cringe. I will be real with you. So just in case anybody out there, if you don't know that there's a Chris Chan documentary on the internet that comes out like every couple of weeks, you should. Each episode is like 45 minutes long, and it is chronicling the life of Chris Chan from like when she became an internet celebrity way back in the day up until now. And the thing is, we're like 70 episodes in or something, I think. And maybe it's just 40. Maybe it's 40. I think it's 46. Anyway, that's a lot of content to watch. There's still a lot of times in which if I have it on in the background and I'm listening, when the narrator is talking, it's fine. Like, I can listen to the narrator talk and be like, and then Sonichu in the body of Christine posted on Twitter, the dimensional merge is going to happen, and all of you wholesome trolls will finally feel the wrath of all Sonichus. Like, when I hear that, fine, totally fine, don't care. As soon as I hear audio from Christine, I'm like, no more. I have to I can take it in very little doses. I have to turn my volume down on my headphones. Like, it's too much. It's too much.
Buddy, Jesus Christ. I am Jesus, and y'all will be punished. I'm doing my best, Christian.
Honestly, not bad. Not bad.
Thank you. I like to say I'm working on it.
We're workshopping the Christian impress. It's fine. This is gonna debut one day at a comedy festival. No one is gonna know who it is.
There's gonna be one guy in the back, just
That's the thing. I often wonder about like there's a number of times in which like I hear stand-up sets from people and they mention stuff like Call of Duty, or they mention like internet stuff, and I'm like, are we getting to the point where like the general audience is like somebody who's internet literate, and now you can start making internet jokes? Because like like I think that's where we have to go. We can't constantly be like, my wife and I went to the store, we got some milk and it was expired and I shit all over the house. Like, we can't anymore. Like, the internet is too big a part of our lives to just be like, I don't know, I swiped left on Tinder and I went into the restaurant and she was too fat, so I had to leave. Like, we can't, like, there's so much about the internet that is interesting and fun. And the fact that there's not a lot of stand-up comedy about it that I have seen is, like, sad.
It's just that, like, man, it's with general audience, it's so hard. Like, you and I are perpetually online.
Mm-hmm.
We know a lot of like online things.
Yeah.
Like Christian, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's assumed that everyone that's like online and knows a little bit about online knows about Christian. But like, what about the general audience? You can't just be like, there's this guy online who made this comic and he did all this terrible stuff and he fucked his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who would, like, you could joke about it. It's just that, like, is the general audience and your stand-up gonna get it?
Mm-hmm.
You're carving out a niche for yourself being the internet guy.
Yeah.
The internet stand-up guy. What are you gonna open your set with? You're like, hey, everyone, can I have cheeseburger?
I mean, back in the day, yeah, that's like, that would have been maybe the thing. Okay, here's the thing, is you're saying that, like, you know, the internet is not like a general audience thing because, you know, you and I are online so much. What I am saying is maybe the general audience is more on the internet than we're giving it credit for, right? Like,
yeah,
I think maybe the general audience is not on Tumblr, but they're probably on Twitter. They probably have a Facebook.
Oh, for sure, Facebook and Twitter. They come pre-installed on your phone.
Facebook for sure does. I don't think Twitter does anymore.
I think it does now.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it does. That doesn't mean it is. But I don't know if like this is an indicator of like how much I'm online, but I got a Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
I have the app on my phone. I got a Tumblr, and I got, let's see, Discord, which I think is an internet thing because like not many people use Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So Discord, Reddit, TikTok, Tumblr. I think Instagram is also one of the ones that people use, so like that's common.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like what's like a advanced internet career like look like?
Yeah,
like
good
in
question.
my internet class, like what's advanced internet? Like how could I rank my internet night class?
Yeah, I don't know.
Internet wizard. Like I wish there was like a test, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like if you know like these references, like you get X amount of XP.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I was just interested in this because I saw recently, like, and this goes back to like people being terminally online and things having, things are different nowadays. So did you hear that Tumblr is like almost about to shut down again?
Yes, I heard about that the other day.
So
I would.
I want to
People are
remind everyone that Tumblr like was purchased by Yahoo
by Yahoo,
for $1 billion in 2013, 10 years ago.
and they took all the porn.
Yep, they did. They took all the porn. And let's see. 2017, Verizon bought Yahoo, which meant that they purchased also Tumblr as part of that.
2017 is when they took the porn.
So that's whenever. Okay, so it's whenever Verizon took it then. So that was, and they purchased that for 4.5 billion, and then in 2019, Verizon sold Tumblr for $3 million.
Oh, oh,
So it was purchased, and it was purchased for $1 billion.
yeah.
And then 6 years later, sold for $3 million.
Ugh. It's, you know what, like, because Tumblr has been like, I use Tumblr, and I don't have like a lot of it's hard to get traffic to your Tumblr page if like you're posting stuff, but it was a place for blogs and for people to like find like others that were interested in stuff that they liked and like build a little community. And it was like really hard to use, but when you learned how to use it, then like you're in, baby.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just that
it is sort of a microcosm, and a lot of people started going back to Tumblr as part of like COVID, being like, oh yeah, we're all stuck inside. And I remember I used to like Tumblr, used to have more time for it, but now that we're, inside a lot, it's like a place that feels familiar and nice. And then also whenever Elon Musk bought Twitter, a lot of people were like, well, I'm not going to hang out there. And Reddit changed its API thing to be like price gouging to third-party apps. And so a lot of people were like, well, fuck Reddit too. Then I'm going to go to Tumblr.
Yeah.
And despite that, despite getting a bunch of users, they still haven't found a way to make money on the website. And so they're like, yeah, we're going to have to lay off a bunch of people.
Here's the thing, like, it's still weird that people make money off Tumblr. I don't see how, besides like advertisements every time like you scroll, like you see an ad like on Twitter. It's just that I don't know. Tumblr's weird. Like Tumblr's very weird.
Yeah.
I have it and I don't use it that often. Mostly for like furry stuff or like nostalgic stuff. Like I know I have this, I follow this one page where like this guy just shows like retro video game ads from old magazines.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, I'll be like scrolling, I'll be like, that's cool, I remember that.
Yeah, makes sense.
So like
I thought so I was just looking at this article. This I need to read you this quote because it is from like a personal standpoint, it's really easy to be like, man, I don't know how you fucked up Tumblr this bad. But like this quote, oh god, if I can find it again. They're talking about like there was a leaked memo for that talked about how bad Tumblr was doing. Okay, yeah, it's right here. After 600 plus person years of effort put into Tumblr since the acquisition in 2019, that is a hell of a fucking way to start a sentence, is to say, hey, wait, if one person were to work on this for 600 years, that's what we have tried to do for Tumblr, and guess what? Shit still don't work, bud.
What the hell? What the hell is person years?
So, especially whenever you're on an engineering team, the way in which you describe like effort is you can use the shorthand of man months, which is like, or man weeks.
Man month? What the fuck is man weeks?
So it's if one developer was on this project every day, that was their only job, how long would it take them to get done with this job? And you sort of estimate how long it would take you if you were by yourself working on this thing, having to go through it. You'd be like, okay,
yeah,
it would take me about a month.
what is it? Not man, like man hours or manpower.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. I get
It's
it.
a
I get
rough
it.
estimate. And so here, what they're saying is person years. They're saying that, like, if you count, if you count 8 hours in a workday as a day, 600 times 365 of those divided by however many employees were on Tumblr, that's how much time has been spent on Tumblr, and they are losing money still.
Yeah, I can't imagine Tumblr doing anything great. Like, I have it just for like, because every once in a while I'll draw something and I'll just post on Tumblr.
Yeah.
And like, I think one of like my most, like, I don't know, tumbled pictures, like the people like their pictures, is like a doodle I did of Cloud Strife with a fat ass.
Yeah.
And
That's a good one.
it's a good one. My Red 13 on a chocobo didn't even get much love. I put effort into that one.
God damn you.
I did. You don't know how frustrating it is to like put a lot of effort into like something you thought was cool and it come out well and then post it on like everything and no one like it. It just it's that meme of SpongeBob throwing the paper into the fire. That's how it feels.
God. On the flip side of that, a website that a lot of people used, and I don't know that it made any money or not, but a website that a lot of people used is also shutting down. Like, just the creator just said, I'm done. We're not doing it anymore. And that's Omegle. Omegle's gone.
It's Omegle.
Oh, whatever. It's like it's Omegle. That's Omegle, bud.
Omegle.
There's no two E's are not in it. I don't. That's no. I refuse it.
Me, and then goal.
Yeah, that because that is how reading works. You're right. Yep.
Checkmate, cocko.
I was reading the apology or the like, yeah, we're shutting it down, and he's like, oh yeah, this was, back in the early days of the internet, and
yeah, it really was. I remember long ago getting on Omegle. Omegle, I'll say Omegle. Fuck. I remembered a long time ago getting on Omegle, and doing the thing, like kids do. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Though. And it was okay. It was fun for like 2 minutes. And I don't know how people could sit there for like hours just going through it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I've got 5 minutes. I'm in the toilet.
Yeah.
But like, he shut it down because of predators, which is true. There's a bunch of like gross old guys on there showing their wing to kids.
Oh yeah,
it's coercing kids to show them their junk.
It's on two fronts. So like there's like pressure from people to shut it down because people are misusing it, and there's like not really a good way to moderate it. He's also like part of a lawsuit of somebody that was like exploited, like somebody who was exploited in an ongoing lawsuit. And
it just finished up. A young lady's family had sued Omegle because she had been exploited and had some of her, I guess, and not safe for work pictures moved around. She was but a small child. And it wasn't a good look for Omegle. But then like the guy was like, well, what do you want me to do? Like he basically, he's giving all the power to everyone. And like, should it be he be held accountable? Like, he put out the website, but like he doesn't, like, what's it called?
I'm waiting, Fee. Give me that word. You got it.
He cannot corral. He can't
moderate.
Fuck yes. Oh, Kobe, your lifesaver.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to do both because like at the same time as you're like, I want to like protect people. I want to make sure that like this is a service that, whatever, can like do the things that I want it to do, but I also want people to be safe. Especially a service like Omegle is supposed to be like, oh yeah, this is, like you can use this entirely anonymously. And so it's really difficult for those two things to be happening, right? To detect a crime, to like prevent abuse of the system from happening, and also to continue to keep users entirely anonymous. Like, it's hard to do both. And so I think like the way that this guy puts it is he's like, operating Omegle is no longer sustainable financially nor psychologically. Frankly, I don't want to have a heart attack in my 30s. Like, god damn. I bet so.
Yeah, that's like fucking real, like the really reals.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it, what would you do if like you were running it knowing that this stuff was going on?
I gotta be honest with you. I am somebody who would just throw away, like, because the thing about keeping your users anonymous and to keep like, you know, keeping stuff secure for people, all of that is theoretical, right? You're like, I want people to be able to use this, and I don't want them to like leak information. I want them to feel safe on this website. But guess what? Like, that's all theory. Like,
yeah.
And the reality is that by doing that, if you are allowing actual people to get hurt and that's provable, dog, you have to abandon the theory then. Like, you have to adjust to the reality of the situation rather than being like, no. I mean, it's to like, there are very few things in which like I will agree with a conservative about. But one of them is the fact that like anytime that communism is implemented inside of a country, the country like it's really easy to have corruption as a part of that, right? Because the state is supposed to be serving the common man, but if the state has too much power, then you only need to get a few people that are super corrupt in there before the government is basically taking everybody's food, right?
Well, it's already like that.
Yeah, so. But at the very least, here in like the United States, as far as like capitalism goes, the pursuit is to continue to make more money. Whereas in under communism, there's some like vague stuff about like, you know, protecting people and like freedom and making sure that like everybody is having a good time. And so you just sort of have to listen to it. Yeah, exactly. And so that's why if you're like a communism proponent, you could be like, well, it's never been truly implemented. But like, I don't know. This is what I'm saying about like the Omegle thing is like, if you have this theory about like, yeah, I'm going to have a website in which like people can just meet each other and they can be totally anonymous and they don't have to like, they could just talk about whatever. And this is like a way to meet people that are, you know, you wouldn't normally meet. Great. Cool. If you realize that then like people are able to use your system in order to like abuse others or to like take advantage of other people, dog, you have to do fucking something to stop that. And if it's compromising on your quote unquote integrity or morals about your website to like try and help people be, I don't know, not exploited, to like not have children attacked, like go fuck yourself, dude. Get on it. Like I don't understand picking theory over reality, especially as far as that goes. Like that's I get it on the principle of like being a principled individual and trying your best to like uphold what you believe to be right, but like, God, when you're faced with the reality of the situation, if you're running a burger restaurant and it becomes very clear that you're like, yeah, I'm using this grass-fed beef from this one farm because I think it's more sustainable and I think they do things better, and then somebody comes and is like, hey, you actually have triple the amount of food poisoning cases opposed to like other fast food restaurants, dog, you have to fucking switch your suppliers. Like, you can't just be like, well, that's what you get with organic beef. Like, shut up.
Someone's like, you know, they molest their cows on that farm. Right?
It's like, yeah, fine, I guess.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that.
God. I molested myself, so we know it's safe.
Yeah, it's fine.
The thing is, I think Omegle is just one of those things. It was cool way back in the day when like the internet was still in its early age, and like now it's just out of hand.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not gonna say it's like great that it shut down, but like it's basically like Pornhub, where it's just like you got to be 18 to enter. Are you 18? Just click yes.
Yeah.
And no one checks.
God, I remember back in the day, like going to a porn website when I was like a teenager, specifically like a hentai website, and they're like, you can't come onto this website unless you're 18, and I was like, how are they gonna fucking know? How are they gonna know? And like, I was just thinking, like, how do they? And there were other things that like, until I have all the information about something, it's probably very easy to trick me into thinking that like something is true. So like there was this internet thing that was like, hey, like it was like you go to a web page and it was like, oh, we're gonna like reveal this like hot chick to you, and then your screen would flash white and it'd be like, we took a picture of you through your monitor and we're gonna send it to someone. And I was like, oh shit, can they do that? Can a monitor take a picture? And like now I know what a monitor is, and the answer is no. Obviously it can't do that.
Yeah.
But like at the time, you like by having just it being like, hey, if you're under the age of 18, like by penalty of law, you cannot come into this website. I'm like, who's gonna fucking arrest me? How are they gonna know? And it took me a few times until I was like, nah, they won't know. They won't know. I'll just pretend like it was, I don't know, my sister. It's fine, whatever.
She's just flicking the bean up there.
Mm-hmm. She's the one looking at Final Fantasy VII hentai. It's all her.
She's the one who's into Tifa's huge knockers.
Huge, delicious tits.
God, she wants to see Aerith shoving materia in her butthole.
She said that out loud at dinner. I thought it was really weird.
She declared it. I was dumbfounded. My mouth was left agape.
She said, I'm going to go look at porn right now. And I said, whoa, okay.
I'm going to go look at my favorite Final Fantasy VII character, Aerith Gainsborough, to be specific. And
not Ares. Not Ares, because I'm a real fan. I know her real name.
I know her name. God. Your fucking sister.
My sister, yeah.
And she just stomps off, and your dad's like, well, what are we to do, Sherry? Just your Shakespearean family. You're fucking what are we to do? So I'm gonna tell you a story that happened to me when I was a kid, and it pisses me off.
To this day. I was thinking about it. I got mad all over again.
It does, because like you'll see, and I'll tell you why. So I was when I would hang out with my cousin when I was little, we would play games and we'd go online and we would go to Yahoo chat rooms and do all this stupid shit. And sometimes we had like Kazaa and everything. We'd download porn and we'd try to find like the hottest picture, and we'd be like, "Ooh, I won! I got the hottest picture." So like I get
okay.
I get the good drink or the good like ice cream or whatever snack we had. So like I guess this one time, like because we're just chilling at his house, and I was like looking for stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put this in my file and I'm gonna save it for like next time. I found this and this and this and this, and it was just like pictures, and it was just files on his computer. And I go home, and like a day later, he comes to my house and he's like, hey. And I want to say he fucking wrote this up and printed it.
Oh, God.
That I went on some website that charged them money to going on the website. Now there's a charge and they're going to do something. And I owe him $20, so I had to give him $20 for him to pay it off and to cancel it. And I was like really freaked out, and I was like embarrassed, and I was like, what the fuck? But then like as time went off, I was like, like years later, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, how did it charge him anything? He didn't even have a credit card. Hey, wait a minute. I think he just stole money for, I guess stole money for, like he just talked me out of $20 because he wanted $20.
God. That's fucking terrible.
And it pissed me off. It pisses me off because I was like, wait, but how? How did they charge you $20? Like, what are they gonna do to you?
Yeah.
Like, how are they gonna get this money? They don't have your information. They don't have like anything. And so yeah, it pisses me off because like like you said, the screen took your picture. It's just I don't think they did anything to him. I think he just needed $20, and he saw that maybe I didn't know much about the computer or the internet at
Mm-hmm.
that time, and he knew that he could scare me to give him $20, and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude,
and it
fun fact, I had something very similar happen to me. Like there was a group of kids that I hung out with. They were all like into like they were the punk kids, really.
Yeah.
And we were hanging out, and then one night they gave me a call and they were like, "Hey, we're all gonna get these T-shirts designed." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" And they were like, "Yeah. It's gonna look." They just kept describing this shirt and how cool it was going to be, and they just kept like
cool.
They were laughing, and I could hear them just adding shit to this shirt. And I'm like, "Oh, they must have had like a really good idea." Like, yeah, okay, cool. That's fine.
These are my friends. Why would they lie to me?
So they came by, and I gave them like $30 or $20 or whatever, and then they left. And then I never heard about this shirt again. I was like,
yeah, a week later, you're like, hey, what about the shirts? They're like, what shirts? Like,
I did ask a few weeks later. I was like, what about those shirts? And they were like, oh yeah, we're still working on like getting the design into like the printer.
Into the design phase.
Yeah, it's got to be approved by marketing.
By HR. And here's the thing, like, I never brought it up to my cousin, and I feel like I don't want any money. I just want him to tell me that he lied to me.
Yeah.
But how do I just like message him one day and be like, hey, remember that time you fucking coerced me out of $20?
The thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if he was like, no, I don't remember that.
Exactly. It was like 20 something years. It was like almost 25 years ago. And I remember it clearly, and it pisses me off. It's one of those things that just sticks with you, right?
God, yeah, it's so frustrating.
And it's so easy for him to be like, no, I don't remember that happening. And I'd have to believe him because it happened so long ago.
Man.
it bugs me. It really bugs me that I was so naive. Like that's how you know that kids are naive, because they'll believe you.
Yeah.
If you have like enough fucking, like, I don't know, gusto behind your voice, like if you sound convincing, you will convince a kid. And I was like 10 years old, and it convinced me, and I was scared for like a month.
yeah. You're like, oh man, like they know. Like I next time that I get on the internet, they're gonna be like, hey, you fucking owe us money.
Yeah, I was like, what the like, I didn't want to use I didn't want to like use his computer anymore, and like we used to have a lot of fun, so like it was weird, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna deal with that. So like it's fully believable that kids can get tricked by people online if they're just like, if you got to send me these pictures or else fucking I'll send an assassin to your house. Like something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. We're gonna nuke your computer. Like, or like, yeah, we're gonna send you a virus, and your computer is gonna explode and kill your dog or whatever.
And and your parents are gonna see, and they're gonna be so mad at you.
Oh, we're gonna send this to your school.
Yeah, no shit, right? So like, I don't know. It's just one of those things, and I think it's happened to us a lot when we were kids, but then the internet was like real young. But nowadays, kids kind of know if there's like a scam afoot, but still, it's still hard to like understand. They're still naive. So like, again, with the Omegle thing, it is good that it's going down, but like, it kind of will be missed. It's one of those like internet things from like the very beginning.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, we're entering a really interesting time for the internet, where it does seem like, and a couple of people have said this, so this isn't like anything new, but it seems like we're entering a time in which the internet is becoming more and more controlled by larger and larger companies. And so whenever you have like smaller voices or smaller creators that like are like rising up, or like smaller websites that are rising up, it's mainly going to be about, more corporate stuff. Like internet is becoming more TV than
Yeah.
anything now, where it's like all about content creation and less about like interacting and less about like, or I guess it's all about content consumption, and content
Yeah.
creators are, you know, the sort of like king in
They're
this space, you know?
yeah, content creators are the new celebrities
Mhm.
of nowadays. Because like I can tell you right now, who cares about celebrities that are in movies?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're only in movies. They're not doing anything
Listen,
other than being in
my
movies.
favorite celebrity, Matt Pat, was in a movie recently.
Yeah, and he shined. He made the movie better.
Yeah.
It's just like it's I don't know, being an celebrity holds more weight than being a Hollywood celebrity.
Yeah, honestly, nowadays, in specific circles, like if I don't know, if let's say let me pick a celebrity that's like big but not huge to me. Let's pick Vin Diesel, maybe.
Ooh, okay,
Vin
yeah.
Diesel, kind of like a classic guy. Like everybody likes, you know, fucking the movie where he
Like Fast
drives.
and the Furious.
Um,
All of them.
and the Groot. They love the Groot.
Oh,
But
God.
like, if you were to come across him in public, you'd be like, oh wow, I guess that's Vin Diesel. I wonder though if your reaction would be more if you came across somebody like fucking Mr. Beast shooting a video, or fucking the Trash Taste Boys in public. Like, would you be like, oh shit, dude, is that fucking Joey the Anime Man right over there? Holy fuck!
I would be thousands of times more excited to see fucking Connor and Chris Broad in public.
Yeah, dude.
than I would Vin Diesel.
But yeah, you see Vin Diesel and you're like, yeah, I guess he's here doing something. But then like you see those two and you're like, wow, hey, what the fuck are you guys up to?
And if they're not filming, be like, "Hey guys, yo, big fan." They're like, "Hey, dude, hello there." Just
Oh god, our editor is British. He's gonna fucking hate you for this.
I'm sorry, Zeta.
Hello, Felix.
Hello, Faye. Just,
Christ.
I only know the one English accent. It's exaggerated Cockney.
Yeah.
God. It's okay, fucking Zeta, if you want to do an insulting Mexican accent, please do.
I give you permission. Don't do it publicly though, please.
So do it, film a video of yourself and send it to me. I want to laugh. We can laugh at each other. Oh shit. But not like okay, so like speaking of accents, I don't think like a Mexican accent is like insulting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just to me, like it's funny. Maybe because I am Mexican, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's probably most of it, right? Like, if you're part of a particular, you know, a particular group, you know, it's more understandable for you to be like, oh, I don't really care if like if I were people making fun of like rednecks, like that's probably the closest, I guess, like
but you're not
minority group
one.
that I'm part of, because I'm not part of, like, I'm a mostly straight white dude that like
If
earns
anything-
a pretty good amount of money. So like you can't make fun of me for any of the traditional things. You have to go for things like, yeah, but you got a small pee-pee. or like, wow, is salt too spicy for you? Like those are the things that I would have to get, and they don't mean anything. Whereas for you, like, there's a whole rich history of making fun of Mexican people to like draw on.
Yeah, as long as like you don't use like a one of the bad words, like the fucking a slur, you can use the accent all you want. It's hilarious.
Honestly, that's great. We all love it.
But like you, if I was to give you a funny voice, it would be like the rich snobby person voice. Because like, oh, I shan't even. Why does this Whataburger come with mustard and not caviar? Fucking. Like, it's because like I'm lower middle class or upper lower class.
Yeah.
And you're like a millionaire. I don't know. I don't know.
Damn,
to me,
Fee.
you are. I was like, what do you want me to say? Like, I tell my people that you're my coworkers that you're rich. I'm like, I do my podcast with my rich best friend, and I know you're not rich, and like I don't like prey on you that like you're rich and like you're gonna fucking just give me stuff. You just do it on your own.
I do love the implication that your coworkers are like, oh, what are you gonna do tonight? Like, oh, I'm recording a podcast with my rich best friend. They're like, the fuck do you have to talk about? Is he just like, oh, I went to Milan?
It's like, okay, so my nephews, I told you, they came into my room yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yo, I love your setup. And because my computer, my ring light, my webcam, and all my stuff is like right here, like front and center of my room.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yo, how much was this? And I'm like, my computer was like 2,000 and it came with all this stuff and mic and my headphones. And I told them, they're like, what about all this? I'm like, well, my rich best friend gave me all that. The stream deck, the webcam, the ring light.
Mm-hmm.
It would be weird if I was just like, oh yeah, he just gave them to me. And they're like, why though? I'm like, well, because yeah, I have to explain. I'm like, oh, because he got like better versions and he gave me these because he didn't need them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what do you mean he didn't need them anymore? Why didn't he just sell them? I'm like, because he can afford not to sell them.
Mm.
Like, I'm like, there's a box in my closet of just things that he's given me. I'm like, a lot of the things in my room are things that my friends just given me.
Yeah, I will say, like, there's a lot, and this, God, this may sound bad, so get ready. There's a lot of times in which I have to weigh how much of a pain in the ass is it going to be to extract money from this thing. So, like, if I have, like, perfect example right now, I'm looking at, because my wife had to consolidate their desk down from 2 desks because they had one desk to do work on and then another desk to play video games and stuff on. And now, because of the way our offices are, they just have one desk. So we have an extra monitor here. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I could sell that monitor. And it's a pretty nice monitor. It's got a pretty low refresh rate. It's got, I think it can do 4K. So I'm like, okay, or no, it could do 2K. So I'm like, okay, yeah, good. I could maybe get like $100 out of this maybe, but I would have to like list it on Facebook Marketplace or wherever. And then I would have to talk to people and then they would have to come here and who knows if they're going to scam me. And then I would have to get it ready and like, I don't know, if one of my friends needs it, I'll just give it to him. So like, that's how the logic goes, is like, if it seems like it's going to be more than a couple of steps, I'm out already. However, I will say I was very proud of myself recently because I bought a Nest, a smart thermostat for my house. And I bought the cheap one, and when I got it, it was like, like you can't use your existing Nest temperature sensors with this. And I was like, that's stupid. They were like, yeah, you got to buy the expensive one. I was like, motherfucker. And so I was like, fine, I've just got to buy the expensive one. And I legitimately was like, what am I going to do with this Nest? I got a Nest and a back plate. Like, what am I going to do with this? I guess I could return it. Oh, God, then I have to put it in a box and fucking...
Oh, then I gotta drive there.
I gotta drive to the UPS store. Oh, God. I don't even know if they're going to take it. And then finally I was just like, you just moved to objectively a place that costs way more money to exist in. You do not have the luxury of like, this is an extra $120 that you would be throwing away by not doing this. It's going to take you 15 minutes of effort. Just fucking do it. And I was like, fine. And I did it. And I was so proud.
To yourself, you're just looking at yourself in the mirror. You're like, just fucking do it. And you're staring back like, oh, but I don't wanna.
God. But I'm tired.
Dude, that's the same with me. I have to go I want to go to Corpus because I'm selling a bunch of my pops and I don't want to list them on Facebook, because if I list them on Facebook, that means someone will either buy the lot or they will just want one. And that means that I'd have to drive somewhere like to Corpus or wherever to sell one pop.
Yeah.
And then possibly the other ones will get bought up, but I want to sell them as a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I have stuff that I want to sell as a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm contemplating on just taking a big box and going to half price books and just selling everything. Because it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I have limited space in my room, and these are the ones that I don't care about as much as I used to when I had a bigger room. And I want to display some newer things.
Yeah.
And these older ones are taking up space because I used to be a big collector. I kept everything in box and whatever. And now I'm like, oh, I don't really care about that anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And
Makes total sense.
We talked about it not too long ago. It's just like, man, I don't want to get a box and put these in the car and drive over to Corpus and have a day of this and maybe have enough money to buy me a burrito with what they offer me.
Yeah, for sure. And like so there's also, in case you like hadn't heard of it, there's usually it's a Facebook group, but sometimes it's on other websites, this concept called Buy Nothing, where in your like local neighborhood somebody can be like, hey, we have this whatever the fuck that we don't need anymore. If somebody wants to come pick it up, we'll put it on our porch. And then like you can like be like, hey, I would like it, and they will pick someone, and then you just go pick it up, and then you do the same. So if in my case, if I was like, hey, we have this old monitor that we don't need anymore, so does somebody want it, then somebody can just come pick it up. And
yeah, but I want to make money off these a little bit.
Yeah, no, I totally get it, but like what I'm getting at is the power of being able to do that is that if you have something where it's like, hey, I've got like 2 boxes full of Legos, or I've got like these 8 video games, you can't come by and take one. You have to take all of them. You can just do that because you're giving it away for free. And that's like the nicest thing, because you're like, yeah, you know what? I do have a bunch of clothes for like 6-month-old kids, and I know that you're not going to want all of them, but guess what? You're going to take all of them, and then you're going to do something with it.
Yeah, and it's your problem.
Yeah, then like, that's my favorite thing, is that you'll see somebody is like, hey, my kid just like grew out of all these clothes, so I've got like 6 months to like 12 months clothes, like a bunch of them. And they'll be like, yeah, here's this box. You have to come pick up the whole box. Somebody gets the box. And then 2 days later, you'll see them be like, hey, I'm the one that got this box. I grabbed the clothes I want. Anybody else want to take the rest? You have to take the whole box. And so you'll see the same box just like go from house to house until it's gone. And you're like, all right, that's a pretty good system, honestly.
Yeah, it's just, man, I don't know, procrastination. It gets me every time, and I hate it.
Yeah, well, and the other thing about half price books is you'll come in there and you'll be like, yeah, here's all my stuff, and I know you're probably not gonna want like a DVD copy of Brink from Disney, but like, you know,
why would I
don't
my
know.
DVD copy of Brink? I love that movie.
but like, you know, I don't know. I'm just spitballing, and then sure enough, you come back and they're like, yeah, we do not want to buy this copy of Brink, but we will give you, you know, $40 for everything that you brought us, and anything that doesn't sell, we will donate. You're like, great, do that, because I'm not going to do it.
God, yeah. I have like several pops here, and I still have a box in storage.
Mm-hmm.
There's still like 3 boxes in storage, and I know one's filled to the top with pops, and I know another one is filled like halfway with pops. And it has like toys and posters and stuff in there. You know what I did the other day when I emptied one of my boxes? Threw more than half of it away.
Wow.
Because I just don't need it anymore. And some of the pops that I did have, I took them out of the box, and now they're just on my shelf. And
Nice.
then the rest of them go into a sell pile. And ones that I want to keep, I've stacked them in my closet, and I have some stacked next to my shelf, just in a big long lineup. And I'm like, man, I love these pops. It's just, I don't like them enough to keep them.
Yeah.
And someone else will get more pleasure out of these than I do right now.
Yeah. And I think that's totally fair. Because like the thing that you don't want is you don't want to like walk into your room one day and be like, oh God, it's just so like to feel like your room is messy, but everything is clean. It's just that you have too much stuff, and half of it you're keeping because you're like, I would feel guilty to get rid of this. I don't know what to
do. That's what I am prisoner to my own hubris.
Mm-hmm.
I love these things that it was back 3 years ago. I was living. I went in Corpus, and the Target was down the street from me. So when I got paid, I was like, I have this much money. I'm gonna go and buy me some stuff, and I'm gonna display it in my room. And I had a bigger room, and I didn't care about like anything. But now that I'm living in my my permanent home, I'm like, I don't need all this stuff.
Yeah. You're like, oh god.
So that's what I'm dealing with right now. But we're an hour into this podcast, and I want to forgive me, but I want a hard pivot.
Yeah, I was about to say that speaking of pops, I think you've got some pops of some stuff that was shown off this week, don't you?
No.
Damn. I was really hoping to land that one.
Surprisingly, I don't actually. I never got a Yu Yu Hakusho pop or an Avatar pop.
That's crazy.
It is. I could never find them in the wild, and I've only ever bought one pop online. So
what pop did you buy online?
It was a Professor Hulk bobblehead.
That makes
10-inch, and it was on pre-order, and it was like a limited quality. But I found out it was limited quality to the website, not anywhere else.
Oh, so you found a bunch of them in the store later?
Yeah, and I was like, oh
shit.
So I was like, I'm never doing this again. If I find them, I find them. But yeah, I don't have a Yu Yu Hakusho pop or an Avatar pop, surprisingly.
Well, then whatever. We're here. This was what is it called? Weekend Geekend? I don't fucking know. Netflix did a thing where they released a bunch of trailers for stuff.
Yeah. They today just the Yu Yu Hakusho. Yesterday Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of other stuff I just don't care about.
Yeah, we only care about those two.
Well, like they released a trailer for Sweet Home 2, and I saw a part of Sweet Home season 1, and it was pretty good. So if you like Sweet Home, I mean, trailers there. But more than that, with the important stuff, Yu Yu Hakusho. We've been talking about this one for a while now, because if you don't know, I'm a big fan of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my first animes I've ever seen. One of my favorite animes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
At top 3, for sure.
Yeah, you are deep in the Yu Yu Hakusho fandom.
Yeah, I need to finish collecting the manga. I have all the Blu-rays of Yu Yu Hakusho. I have a couple of Yu Yu Hakusho shirts.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the first animes that I collected back when they were releasing them in single DVDs. Like,
oh god, the worst.
Yeah, like 15 episodes on one disc, and it came in like an 8-disc set, and you had to buy them whenever they released them.
Yeah.
Every time I bought one, it would come with a Yu Yu Hakusho keychain.
Ooh.
And I don't have any of that anymore, but I don't have any of those DVDs anymore. But that tells you like how deep I was in that fandom.
Yeah,
like, I really loved it.
You had all the fucking keychains.
I had them.
My keys were so secure.
They were so fucking heavy. So the trailer dropped literally a couple minutes before we started the podcast.
Yeah, it was very fortuitous timing.
Yeah, because we're like, so what's on the agenda today? And I like to look through my timeline and see if there's anything interesting that we forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, the trailer for Yu Yu Hakusho got dropped.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold the fuck on, Cole. We're going to watch this and then talk about it.
Yeah.
So.
And here we are. Here we are about to talk about it. Get ready.
December the 14th or 16th. That's when Yu Yu Hakusho is dropping. And I'm so excited. It looks so good. It looks really good.
Yeah. I will say, so I think you were probably going to be more positive about this than I am. I have some complaints about it, but I think it's overall pretty big jump in quality from what we've seen before, so that's good.
So it is a Japanese live action, which you can tell they do things different than when America does live action animes. I want to say it's on par possibly with One Piece. And I say that, and I know like you're probably disagreeing with me, Cole, but when I say that is it is following the story, but it is expediting it quicker than the anime, and it is making it just like One Piece, like a One Piece. They're keeping it close to the source, but changing it to make it different enough for a general audience and have it in live action.
Yeah,
right.
That's the read that I'm getting as well. It seems like they're not unlike One Piece, in which like a bunch of the stuff was expedited. I sort of get this a similar vibe here. But from what you're saying, it sounds like so One Piece, I would argue had. I would argue minimal changes. Like they, Don Krieg was probably the biggest change, I would argue. But like it seems to me that things are a little bit different with Yu Yu Hakusho. How long? I mean, based off of one season, do you think that where you think the season is going to end, do you think that that's like too much compression?
Oh, they from what they showed Toguro in the trailer. Toguro and his team from the Dark Tournament fighting, which doesn't happen until the end of Dark Tournament. And they're not even in Dark Tournament in the trailer. They show the big armored guy, Sui. And then they show the guy who makes the bombs in the trailer fighting them, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And they're not in the Dark Tournament. They show you Yusuke dying. That's the whole first episode is gonna be establishing the lore, meeting everyone, blah blah blah. And then they show off a lot of cool things. They show Hiei, they show Koenma, and they didn't make him look like a baby. They gave him his teen form from the Dark Tournament. And we see Botan, we see Kurama, we see them doing all their moves. Like Hiei cuts a car in half.
Yeah, he does.
And Kurama's on one hand spinning around like with his rose whip. We see Kuwabara with his spirit sword, and here's what I think. They're gonna do the beginning arc where Yusuke fights Hiei and Kurama and finds the 3 otherworld trinkets.
Yep.
I think they're gonna do Genkai arc, but like really quick, because you don't see like Rando and him fighting all them. They're gonna skip I feel like they're gonna skip the 4 Saint Beast arc, where they go into the underworld to fight the 4 Saint Beasts and stop the guy with the demon whistle that makes everyone corrupted.
Yep.
And they're gonna go straight from Genkai to Toguro. And then they flip the Toguro arc. And the Toguro arc happens before Dark Tournament. He meets Toguro and goes into the mansion to save Hiei's sister, and ends up fighting Toguro. So they're mixing it around a whole lot. They're like compressing it into they're compressing like 4 arcs into 1 season.
I hope that it's not too much, because it is possible. It happens all the time where they're like, oh yeah, we've got to tell this like big story that takes a long time to tell, and we've only got 8 hours to tell it in. So let's just remove a bunch of stuff, and then it can go horrifically wrong.
Here's the thing. It doesn't look... I'm just speculating, because this is the first and only trailer we have. I didn't see the Saint Beasts. I didn't see Rando. They could still... Like, 3 episodes. First episode, Yu Hakusho, establishing the spirit world, establishing his place. Second episode, doing the 3 trinkets, meeting Hiei, Kurama, fighting Goki, getting his spirit gun. third episode, meeting Genkai. 2 episodes at the Genkai tournament. It depends. I don't know how many episodes are in this series.
Yeah.
So like 2, I could see them dedicating 2 episodes to Genkai tournament because of like everything that they have to do. The first episode is them like doing the trials before the final tournament at the end, and then him at the end on the second episode winning the Genkai tournament and training with Genkai, and then the 5th episode is like, I don't know, a 2-episode arc of him fighting the Saint Beasts. And then the last 2 episodes are them fighting Toguro. Or maybe they'll have, like, Toguro be like Luffy's grandpa in One Piece and just be looming the whole time.
Yeah, that's sort of the feeling that I get, is that Toguro would be, like, the guy that is, like, always there and always sort of pursuing them, or, like, maybe he's the one that's, like, the quote unquote ringleader of what's happening.
Because they're like showing Toguro prominently on like the posters, and so that's what I think it's gonna happen. Like I love the costumes. I love some of the action sequences I've seen so far. I think it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly love the way it looks.
The one thing that
I didn't see any bad.
The one thing that I will say that I did not like about this, boy, Kurama's wig is really bad, and you can super tell it's a wig, like way bad.
Yeah, but what else were they gonna do? His hair's like fucking dark red in the show.
Yeah, but like you could like. They did a shot where he's like flipping around and stuff, and his hair got so close to the camera that I was like, that's fake hair. I know that's fake hair because I've seen fake hair before. Get this shit out of here.
Look, you have a problem with Kurama. I don't. I think he looks great. I think it's going to be good.
I think Hiei looks a little bit weird too. The one person who I will say looks fucking awesome is Kuwabara. Kuwabara's sword looks fucking dope.
It looks great, but man, Kuwabara's not ugly. And I've been saying this. I've been saying this the whole year that Kuwabara needs to be ugly. And I even talked to someone when I went to go see Five Nights at Freddy's. I was wearing a Yu Yu Hakusho shirt, and the lady who sold me the ticket, the girl who sold me the ticket, was like, "Hey, I love your shirt," and I'm like, "Yes," and she's like, "You excited for Yu Yu Hakusho live action?" And I was like, "Yes," and then I was like, "But they made Kuwabara like pretty, and he's not." And she's like, "I beg to differ. He's hot." And I was like, "Oh
no!"
But we had a fun conversation. But I guess some people think he's attractive, and I don't. He's a goofy goober.
Yeah, he is a goofy goober. That's the thing, is like, I don't know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and some people really do just want to get pounced on by like buff, stupid himbo Pee Wee Herman, and that's fine.
You've been a bad girl. Looks like you're gonna have to handle my spirit sword.
Good thing I've got my handcuffs on me. Oh no!
The red thread of fate is connecting you and me. Spirit sword.
God,
you guys, what's going on in here? Amoxicillin?
Yeah. This is, by the way, we're streaming this live on Twitch like we do.
We always do.
Someone named Amoxicillin just said, "Hey guys, what's going on in here?" Yeah,
we're
up in here just doing Kuwabara voices, talking about seducing girls. Regular shit.
Talking about the Yu Yu Hakusho trailer.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that wasn't the only trailer that came out. So, like,
dude, Avatar.
Yeah. Avatar. It like
book one.
Okay, everybody in the show looks pretty good, I will say. I there's some characters I like more than others. Sokka's gonna take a little bit to grow on me. Katara is gonna take a little bit to grow on me.
No, Sokka looks is it me or is his head like weirdly proportioned?
It's he doesn't have a weirdly proportioned head. He has a big jaw. He has a big manly preteen jaw, and like when he grows up, he's gonna have like a big Josh Brolin head. I'm positive about it. And so this is just what he looks like right now. And honestly, I'm here for it because Sokka is a dude who's like, no, I'm a warrior. And then you're like, okay, Sokka, that's very cute. And then by the end of the show, you're like, no, Sokka's a fucking warrior, dude.
He has the Giga Chad jawline.
He does. It's sick.
Oh no, I don't like it. I don't like it. But
I also like Iroh. I thought Zuko looked great. I thought Ozai looked great.
Okay, so here's what I would in Discord I was talking about. They're like, everything looks so good. I was like, yeah, and look, firebenders are actually wielding fire, not from like a preset fire. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's already like 100 times better.
Yeah.
Because like we don't talk about M. Night in this house. We don't talk about M. Night Shyamalan. That airbender never happened.
Yeah, nobody listen. If you talk about M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar movie, let's just say that he did a really bad job of making the first Avatar Blue People movie. That's just what that was.
Yeah, okay. I was hoping the polar water tribe to be more melanated, but like what if Sokka was like an Inuit people, because some have light skin, right? Mm-hmm. I've seen that. So
yeah, I'm wondering. I'm wondering what the rest of the tribe like. I'm so excited to just see like everything happening. And I
was paying attention to the actors, but I was more looking at what they were doing and the set pieces and everything.
Yeah, especially because of the unspoken movie. It's like the biggest focus on this is like, how does the bending look? And especially the big scene where they're like, oh yeah, Fire Nation versus like a bunch of airbenders. I was like, how's this looking? How's this look? It looks pretty good. Hey, this is looking pretty good. And then we got further into like Aang doing his shit, and I was like, okay, it's looking pretty good.
Look, I hate to back Netflix, but I think that this push they're moving with their adaptations for things is like really good. Right?
Yeah. I think they're getting it now. I don't know how they fixed it, because they've done a lot of shit adaptations so far. I don't know how they fixed it, but they did, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, the Avatar trailer looked really good, but like the teasers that we've been seeing have all been looking pretty good, but then in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, is it? I don't really know, right?
Yeah,
like
you never can know. You're like, I don't know.
They show you the good shit, but then until you see the trailer, but it's not even always the trailer, because the first One Piece trailer, and we love One Piece, the anime, not the anime, the live action, but that first trailer was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
right?
the first. I mean, to be fair, One Piece had a lot riding on it, and it had an uphill battle to fight. So like that first trailer had to be. It had to have been like crazy good for us to like assume that it was going to be good.
Shit, yeah.
The thing is, I think that first trailer was establishing like, hey, I don't think we fucked it up too bad. And you're like, okay, it looks a little weird. There's some stuff, but like maybe there's hope. And then they drop the second trailer to actually get you hype about it. And then you're like, okay, now it's going to be good. And I don't think that the rest of these have to climb up that hill. So like Yu Yu Hakusho and Avatar both are starting off at a place where you're like, I know that Netflix can fund people that know how to do this. And so like, if this is bad, I can be really mad at it.
Yeah. Because we're already like, Netflix has already reeled us in, so now we're expecting good adaptations.
Yes, absolutely.
But the minute that they scorn us is when we fucking get our pitchforks.
Oh, the fire in my eyes.
Okay, so look, Amoxicillin in chat just reminded me that we got told about a Legend of Zelda live action.
Which, by the way, I'm already very hesitant about the fact that this is going to be a thing, and I'm even more hesitant about it because Nintendo chose to announce it in a tweet and in a press release instead of we didn't know that a Mario movie was coming until they had a trailer, and now they're like, yeah, there's going to be a Legend of Zelda movie
and it's live
at some
action.
point. Yeah, it's live action. Just which to me means that like if they were to like, they probably have something that's like being worked on. They may have like a teaser or something, and they showed it off to some people, and those people were like, I didn't know that you were working on this, and I didn't know what to expect, and this is, I don't know, maybe. So maybe they're like, well, if we set up the expectation that this exists and then show it to them, they'll be like, okay, I got over the initial shock that it was going to be live action, and now it's going to be great.
All right, Colby. Your three main characters: Link, Zelda, Ganon.
Yep.
Who's cast? What's the cast? What's your fan cast?
Oh God, no. Like live action for all of them?
Not your fan cast. Who do you think they will cast?
I couldn't even tell you. I think like, okay. This is gonna be like cynical. So, I think Tom Holland as Link.
Yes.
I think Tom Holland Link is likely. I think I wouldn't put it past them to do Zendaya as Zelda.
Oh no!
And let's get Jason Momoa as Ganon. That's what I'm gonna say. It's those three.
Okay, so if I had to pick someone from Ganon, the guy who played the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Okay, the guy who played the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Oh shit, who could play Link? Or no, Zelda. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think, and I can't think of Emily Blunt. I don't fucking know.
Emily Blunt. Okay, that honestly not a bad choice.
Link. I don't know anyone that could play Link. I don't know anyone, so I'm just gonna say Chris Pratt.
Oh no, I know who could play Link.
Who?
It's got to be oh god, what's her name? Hold on. Yes, Anya Taylor-Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy, the woman who played Peach. Anya Taylor-Joy would make a great Link.
Link, I think Amoxicillin is right. We need someone that is feminine enough to pass as a woman.
That's what I was thinking. Is I was like, okay, what is like a popular male femboy like star? And I can't think of one right now. And then I was like, closest thing that I could get is like pick a young blonde person with big eyes. Oh, Anya Taylor-Joy, got her.
Oh wait. Who's that streamer that dresses in women's clothes but isn't gay?
Oh, Finn.
Yeah,
you can't
Finn.
pick Finster.
Yeah, Finster. He's hot.
Finster said, and I quote, "Sucking girl dick is not gay. It's just based. It's just cool." And I don't know
wrong.
that I like. While I agree, let's be clear about that. While I agree, I don't know that you could put that in as Link. I think people would pull that up and be like, is this your Link? And be like, yeah, that's my Link.
That's
yeah,
my Link, all right. Look,
here's
Finster looks good in a dress. I think he'd look good in a tunic.
You're not wrong. Here's okay. The fact that it's live action is the thing that worries me the most, because I thought through like the Breath of the like the movie that I want is a Breath of the Wild movie. Obviously, like I want like long scenes where it's just like really good sound design, really good music, great atmosphere, like Blade Runner 2049. Like I want that level of like immersion and like
just watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like I want it like Lord of the Rings but with less music and more sound, right? Like I want Breath of the Wild the movie.
But it's gonna be Ocarina of Time.
I think it's going to be something even further back, because if I'm
the past,
I'm thinking probably something like Link to the Past or one of the Game Boy ones. Not necessarily like it may be its own story, but that's what I think it's going to be the vibe of. Because I was thinking about it, and if it was an animated movie, Minish Cap would have made a great movie, actually. Minish Cap would have made a great animated movie because it's funny. Like
Minish Cap would make a good animated short movie.
I think it'd make a great animated regular movie, like an hour and a half of Link being like, "Oh, now I'm small." Like, it would have been great.
Minish Cap would make a 4-episode long Netflix special. Then I'd agree. Other than that. For a full-length, feature-length movie...
Yeah, baby.
It has to be Ocarina of Time. It has to be.
I mean, because it's live action, that makes me think that they have to do something that's like one of the grittier ones. Like it has to be something like
Twilight
Ocarina
Princess?
of Time or Twilight Princess, not Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword's too cartoony. Breath of the Wild they could probably pull off, and Tears of the Kingdom they could pull off, but I mean, even Majora's Mask, as like grim as the story is, it's still too goofy.
But they'd have to do Ocarina of Time first because Majora's Mask is a direct sequel.
Yeah, I don't think they could. I don't think they could do Majora's Mask. I think Majora's Mask is too weird.
Yeah, but you're like, if you think of a Legend of Zelda movie, you're not making it for the general audience. Everyone knows who Link is. Or Zelda, the name.
That's why I think they're going to go with an original story. Like, I think it's not going to be like Link has to collect the 7 MacGuffins, because that's going to be stupid. I think it's going to have to be like, I think they're going to skip like temples. Like, there's not going to be like the fire temple and the wind temple. I think it's going to be like the quest is Link has to go find the Master Sword and then kill Ganon with it. I think that's going to be the whole story.
Be a time travel movie, yeah. I just think that they are going to, if they make a feature-length one, it'll be either 3 hours long or 2 movies. First half will be him like, I know they're gonna have like, instead of dungeon diving, they're gonna have him go through one dungeon to see how hard like the dungeon is, right? Before he gets like the first one of the first Triforce pieces, and then he figures out where all the other pieces are. And then they're gonna have a montage after that of like what's the Zelda castle music, from like Smash Brothers, dun, 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 dun. And then it's just him in different shots in different dungeons.
Man, that would be so fucking lame. Oh, that would be awful.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be. I'm saying that's the only way, because then you'd have like 30 minutes each of him in a different dungeon. And, like, you just can't do that.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're going to have to scrap dungeons entirely. If they're going to do one self-contained movie, because yeah, Moxicil in the chat brings up a good point that, like, if this is a multi-movie series, you could have things like, oh yeah, the end of the first movie is him finding the Master Sword and, like, making some progress, right? You could do something like that. But if it's a self-contained movie, like, I personally, if I was watching a movie and then it was like, oh yeah, like look at all the trials that Link had to go through. That was a crazy temple. And then they were like, yeah, we're just gonna montage the rest of it. I would be like, excuse me, what? Like, what? How lazy are you? Stop it. Just don't put him in.
That also like comes to mind. What are some of the iconic bosses we're gonna have in here? Are we gonna have the Dongos? Are we gonna have Gorons? Are we gonna have Link having to find the silver arrows and fight Ganon? Or like, how's he gonna carry all of his equipment? Is Link gonna just have to be like, here's a magic bag that you could put all your stuff in?
Listen, here's the thing. I have spent too much time thinking about this, and you could tell because I have answers to all of these questions. So the equipment that Link carries is sword, shield, bow. Those are the 3 things that he has. Every other thing is one thing. It's like a glove or a rock, like Tears of the Kingdom, where it's like his hand can do magic shit. That's what that has to be, because you have to, like, he can't carry around a bomb bag and a rupee pouch and a like hammer and whatever the fuck else. Like, you have to like.
What if the bombs they expand like Pokeballs?
Like I think they do that actually in the cartoon, but like I don't.
Oh,
especially in a live action thing that won't play. I'm positive that won't play.
There's one line I need to hear in this movie, and I said it in Discord. And he has to one time throughout the whole runtime say, "Excuse me, princess."
God, nothing would make me happier than if Link didn't say anything the whole time. If Link had 0 lines and was just some hot femboy that was just doing flips and stabbing people, oh, that would be great.
Hey, Link, we're going to Lon Lon Ranch. Ha!
Yeah, Link, what's going on? Can you tell us about the problem? Fades to black. Comes back up. Wow, yeah, okay, that does seem complicated.
Every time he's just a mute. He just carries around a dry erase board.
Yeah, yeah.
But like he has to talk. In the video games, we can suspend our disbelief that he is a mute.
No.
In
This is again. I keep telling you, I've thought too much about this movie. This is an easy thing to solve. It's a 10-second interaction at the beginning of the movie where Link is a farmer or whatever the fuck, like at the beginning of Twilight Princess, and then somebody like he has to go and like purchase something at the market, and he's like trying to buy something, and the person's like, "Oh, what? Hey, what do you want? What do you want? Just say what you want." And then his friend comes up like, "Oh, sorry, Link can't talk. It's like, don't worry about it. It's fine." One throwaway line. Link just can't talk. That's it. That's the whole explanation. Link can't talk.
Yeah. His friend's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, he can't talk."
Yeah.
And then after like he spends his rupees and buys the thing, he rolls away or backdashes. There's got to be one scene where he breaks the invisible wall and jumps to the pipe.
yeah. I would like if the end of the movie was just them showing off a bunch of speedrun tricks in live action. Like, yeah. Okay, so Link puts down a bomb. He does a backflip. He rolls forward once, rolls forward twice, holds up shield, and now he's going backwards at the speed of light. Great.
Oh, he's already at Ganon as a child. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Amoxicillin again brings up a good point. In Breath of the Wild, they gave him a reason for being mostly silent. It's because he's like, he feels a lot of pressure to be like Link's chosen knight, and he's got a lot of PTSD about like how much weight is on his shoulders. But honestly, that would play pretty well in a movie.
But that depends on what story they're using.
It does, yeah.
So like I said, if it's Link to the Past, the first movie could be Link in the regular world and the second in the Shadow World.
Yeah, oh, totally.
And Ocarina of Time would be the first movie would be him as a kid, and then the second movie would be him as an adult.
Yeah,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
That would be kind of cool.
I'm gonna say right now, that's what I think it's gonna be. Ocarina of Time, first movie, 2 hours. Him as a kid, getting all the lore, learning all the stuff. Second movie, goes forward in time, becomes an adult. That's it. I figured it out.
Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna place bets on this. I'm gonna say it's gonna be one movie. The movie's gonna be somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours long, because they're scared and they're cowards. I think that it's going to be one self-contained movie. I think there's going to be one dungeon in which the Master Sword is at the end of the dungeon, and he's going to fight Ganon and win, but Ganon will not die. That's what I'm calling.
Listen, I'm a prophet, so I'm gonna go with mine.
You have called too many things in the Nintendo Direct to be 100% wrong, and I will give you that. But the thing is, the fact that they felt the need to brace us before they showed anything about the movie does not fill me with confidence.
They know they chose some questionable actors that they didn't think anyone would like.
Well, they chose a questionable director. They told us, like, here's the director. I went to go look him up, and he's done Maze Runner, and it's like, what do you mean you're going to give him Zelda? What are you doing?
Maybe they liked Maze Runner a lot. I don't know.
Give him Star Fox, okay? Star Fox he can do.
A Star Fox animated movie would be sick.
But live action Star Fox movie, and it's the casting is just people that he found at the furry convention.
No. A live action Star Fox movie, but they use the puppets from that one E3.
Oh hell yeah, that would be sick.
If before they do a Star Fox movie, they'd have to do a Metroid movie.
They would have to, but the thing is, Metroid is also too important to put in somebody bad's hands. Like, you have to pick a good, like, psychological horror type person or somebody like that.
You need some badass, like, lady, like a big buff woman.
I hate this. I hate that. Every important movie, I'm like, the guy who did Blade Runner 2049 would be perfect for that, because I think he'd be perfect for Zelda. I think he'd be perfect for Metroid.
Fuck you.
I'm serious.
Blade Runner sucks and I hate it. And I hate you.
You haven't even seen it. Shut up.
I've seen the trailer. That's enough.
Wow, Fee. Okay. Now the truth comes out. All right. Movie bigot over here.
You know who should play Link? Josh Hutcherson.
Now, okay, we have to leave. We've been at this podcast for 1 hour and 37 minutes, and now you're just speaking gibberish.
I don't know who it could be, okay? You and your dumb director. God.
Listen, Dennis Villeneuve is fantastic. If you are listening to this live, hello. If you're not, what are you doing? You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/GoGettasPod. If you follow us, you'll get a notification whenever we go live, and we go live anytime between 0 and 2 times a week. If you want to just listen to the audio version of the podcast, that comes out every Wednesday at 5 a.m. Central Time, so that you can have something to listen to on your way to work. But if you want to catch the visual version, which is mildly more interesting, that'll be up on YouTube at 2 p.m. on our YouTube channel, which also hosts our YouTube Shorts, as well as our TikTok hosts those same videos, and those are absolutely fire. So go check them out.
To our editor.
Yeah, Zeta's great. Love that guy.
Love that guy. Here's what I do every week, and here's what I want you to do.
Okay. You had to stall for more time to try and get something. I get you.
I don't know what I'm doing. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to write find your favorite childhood video game. I want you to write a feature-length film script. I want you to go to Hollywood,
get there,
and pitch your script to all the directors that you can find.
The strike is over.
And then when they pick your movie, I want you to get your big fan cast and pull them into a room and then go get them. I don't know where I'm going. Get them.
How are you gonna get your whole fan cast in there? What if I want Mary Elizabeth Winstead to be Zelda? I don't know that she does movies anymore.
I want Danny DeVito to be Tingle.
Okay. Now we're really getting into it. All right. This is Danny DeVito as Tingle, maybe the Dreamcast. Honestly, that's what Sega was talking about in 1999.
Danny DeVito, Tingle, Charlie Day as the guy who guards you from seeing the Deku tree.
Yeah, Mido. Oh yeah. What do you mean you've got a sword? Where the hell did you find a sword?
Hey, it's me, Tingle. Bring me pieces of your map, or I'll blast you.
I'll blast you.
God.
Okay, fine. You're probably gonna be better at predicting this movie than I am, and I hate it.
I'm telling you, I'm right there.
Fine. Bye.
Bye, everybody.